Hello, this is Edith Neumeyer, and I am the author of the book, The Mystery of Adam. Well, I need to continue, and I see the screen thing that I don't want, so here we go. Need to set it right. I want to continue with my video series about the rapture. Now, I thought I would get done with my first video, but it turned out it was pretty long, and I still haven't said everything that I wanted to say. So today is the second part, and then I will make a third part. Now, why am I doing the rapture? Well, because there's so many confusing beliefs about the rapture, and it seems like people are not looking at what the Bible is saying. And I want to make sure in my first video, I wanted to make sure that it is biblical, not, oh, it's made up by somebody. I have shown in my first video clearly that the rapture, this event where the saints are snatched out, is clearly in the Bible. And people quote 1 Thessalonians 4 all the time, and 2 Thessalonians 2. They quote it all the time. So obviously this event is not something that is pulled out of somebody's hat. It is happening. Yes, in the translation, in the English translation, they didn't use the word rapture. They used caught up. But the word caught up means rapture. It's the same word, rapture, okay? English has many words to describe one thing. Cry there's other words that can describe the same verb or the same feeling as cry. Weep is another one that is as same as cry. Weep and cry. Whine, different things. So people need to understand that there can be different words describing the same thing. Snatching away, taking out. I think it even has something to do with just a sudden taken out. So that's what the rapture is. Now, when you go to the original text, there is one word that is used, and that is exactly that word. Rapture, taken out, snatched out. Okay? Again, I wanted to go over that so people understand this. So the rapture is a real event. Yes, this word was not used by the translators. It's a word that was later on added, maybe even to our dictionary. I have not done the research that far. But again, the German word is Entrückung. And Entrückung is rapture. There is just no doubt in my mind. I mean, you can look it up in the dictionary. So this word is there. So watch my first video first. Now today I want to talk about more into what people call secret rapture. Now, why would some people say it's a secret rapture? And so I will not finish everything today, so maybe my last video, I will go more into detail about the Feast of Trumpets, which is coming up soon, people. Okay, so I will talk about this again. This Feast of Trumpets that's coming up on the 18th and 19th of September. And which is symbolic, well, I shouldn't even symbolic, it's the day of the rapture. I'm not saying this year, but one of these days, the Feast of Trumpets will be the day when this rapture will happen. Okay, why? I will most likely discuss that in a different video. Today I want to talk about the secret rapture, because so many people talk about, oh, there is no secret rapture. And, at first I'm thinking, No, I never heard about this word, secret rapture in the Bible. But it clearly is secret. Because what do you think as a thief in the night is? Or no one knows the day or the hour. That's all secret. It's all telling you it's going to happen in secret. It's not for everybody to see. And I mentioned that in my last video. Not everybody gets to see the bride taken out. The bridegroom comes in the middle of the night. That's symbolic of the Feast of Trumpets. The bridegroom coming in the middle of the night for his bride. When everybody is sleeping, the world is sleeping, there's going to be a shout, and yes, there's going to be a trumpet call. But I don't believe people will hear the trumpet call or the sound. Why? Because maybe this trumpet call and the sound will be covered up by Satan. Now, Satan doesn't know exactly either when the year is, is happening. But he has some kind of idea that his time is almost up. I mean, he can do the research too. He's not stupid. He can do the research, and he knows that already 2,000 years have passed since Jesus left, and that he will come back soon, and it will happen during this time when he prepares, the chambers or the rooms for the bride. He knows his time is coming to an end. He knows the wrath of God is coming. If nothing else, he knows the wrath of God is coming. He knows what's going on in the universe, people. He knows, okay? He's got a lot more information. He is so much more smarter. The technology he has, the knowledge he has is so much great. He knows what's going on. So he knows the wrath of God is coming because of the things that are happening in the universe. I have talked about the meteor field that we are going through right now. And he knows we're going through this meteor field, and he knows that this meteor field is most likely associated with this planet or this solar system, Nibiru. Because he knows it. It's been happening for thousands of years. What is it? Every 3,200 years, a catastrophic event is happening. He has experienced the flood. He has experienced the plagues of Moses. He has experienced these things. And so he knows very well the cycle of when these events are happening. Don't fool him. Some people are so in ignorance, and they think, oh, Satan is just hiding someplace in heaven until it's time to come to this. No, I have already done videos showing you clearly that Satan is on this earth, and he has already established his kingdom, the beast system, that is personalized according to the dragon. I have already showed you that. It's typical Satan. It's Satan's empire. Satan's empire is here, and it's been here for 2,000 years. And he knows what's coming. And he has told the elite, the people that work for him, what's coming. And he has prepared these elite for what is coming. That's why they have built the bunkers, people. That's why they have built the bunkers. Because they're going to hide in those bunkers as soon as the wrath of God starts. In Revelation 6, 12 through 17, we see the wrath of God coming and the elite hiding in the bunkers or in the earth, in the caves. They are not dumb. Who is telling them? Well, it's obviously not our public media. Our mainstream media are not telling them, hey, the comets are coming. Or, oh, hey, this Nibiru is coming. It is going to cause catastrophic events on this earth. That's most likely causing a pole shift. Public media is not telling them. Who is telling them? Well, it is the elite. Where do the elite get the information? Well, of course, the elite also get the information from satellites and from their planetary observatories. That's where they get information. But it's not getting through to the public because nobody wants the public to know. Now, I talked to a friend yesterday about these meteors, and you know what? Her answer was, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. I'd rather just eat a hamburger before it happens and then just die. Well, okay, I guess that's the way, the attitude you want to have. Fine. But then again, this is the attitude of people who do not want to know that really before all this, should I say, no, I'm not going to say the word, the SH word. But before all this happens, the rapture will happen. These people do not have the hope that Jesus will return before the rapture happens. But if you study the Feast of Trumpets and the symbolism of the Feast of Trumpets, you will know that's what the Feast of Trumpets is all about. It's the king coming for his bride, the bridegroom coming for his bride. That's what this feast is all about. But who knows about this? How many pastors have actually taught this from the pulpit, have taught the congregation about the bridegroom coming? How many are preparing the church for this day? And this is really, people, this is what pastors should be doing. They should be preparing the bride, the church, for the bridegroom. They should every year make even a stronger effort to say, are we prepared this year for the bridegroom's return? And especially during our times. We are seeing signs that are pointing straight to the return of Jesus for his bride. And people are ignorant. Ignorant. Why? Because they're scared. My friend is scared. I understand that. Very scared. And that's why she doesn't want to think about it. Oh, just let me be hit by these meteors. Who cares? I don't want to know about it. I'm going to go on my last hike. I'm going to go on my last trip, a vacation trip. I'm going to do my last feast with my family. I'm going to do my last this. Am I going to do my last that? I don't want to know when it hits me. But people, it is coming. Okay? It is very close, and Satan knows it. Satan knows it. Only people ignore it. Satan knows, and he is working overtime to get as many people on his side as he can. So here is another thing, especially what I want to talk about today, about this, it being in secret. Yes, it will be in secret. It will be in secret because Satan is going to hide it. And he has already made plans to hide it. He knows this is happening, and he has made plans to hide it, people. He has made plans to hide it already. He knows what is going to happen. And why are the Christians, or maybe they're just so-called Christians, why do they not know? Because they want to sleep, I guess. And so the 5 virgins were not ready. If you look at Matthew 25, 5 virgins were not ready. Yep, they had even white robes on. They were prepared, or they thought they were prepared, but they didn't have the Holy Spirit. They were not connected to the bridegroom. Not really. They even cast out demons in his name. They did all kinds of things in his name. And yet Jesus says, no, I don't know you. And they were left behind. And they had to go now, if they continue to believe in Jesus, to go through the wrath of God. I don't know who wants to go through the wrath of God. But let's go back. I want to talk about what kind of preparations did Satan make. Now, okay, I cannot in the Bible show you exactly where these preparations are. But see, the Bible is not everything, okay? The Bible shows you many things about God, who God is. He shows you clearly the plan that the plan of God that he wants to join again with his bride. Okay, the whole Bible is about that, about Jesus coming to win back, to pay for his bride, and to become one with his bride again. That's what the Old and the New Testament is about. I mean, very clearly. So we already know that's God's intention. So Satan is trying, of course, to prevent that. And especially when he sees that the end is near. He wants to deceive as many people as possible. So what does he have in place? Now, I have not found that in the Bible, but I have talked about it. There are many things today that are kind of we are hearing about. I talked about this Project Bluebeam. Look up some of my videos. I did one video about Project Bluebeam, and where a person did some research and found about this alien, what is it called? It's called an alien, not invasion, but alien exposure, or I cannot come up with the word right now, but yeah, alien disclosure. This is the word, disclosure. Exposure. I thought it was exposure. No, disclosure. Okay? In other words, the government is going to tell you that there are aliens. There have been aliens for a long time that have been visiting our Earth. I mean, at least since Eisenhower. Okay, that was one of the presidents that had alien connections. Of course, it's been covered up, right? People say, oh, that's not right. That's all conspiracy theory. No. I'm not talking about whether it's conspiracy or not. It is, we have plenty of recordings that's the case. Maybe, matter of fact, today we are more and more getting little information from the government that there are really aliens, or that there's alien craft sightings, UFO sightings, and they're letting us know bits and pieces that, oh yeah, these aliens are actually here. Now, the whole cover up again, see, they're letting you know, oh, the aliens are here right now, but they're not telling you who these real aliens are. Okay, they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that these aliens are not people from other planets or beings from other planets. Many people that have done alien research or UFO research, they tell you that these, and I have done it. Okay, I've been doing research into this subject, and you can do it too. That these aliens are really not from other planets, but they're interdimensional. In other words, they come from other dimension. Well, I guess I have to start again, and I hope I remember where I ended. Talking about alien invasion, and I'm talking about that these aliens are really not from other planets, but interdimensional beings. We know that because of the way these UFOs move. They're not linear, but they kind of appear and disappear. And so also the way these supposedly aliens act, like we have alien abductions that are real. I mean, people have studied these alien abductions. I cannot imagine that all these people have made up these alien abductions. There are many reliable people have done research and interviewed these people who say they were abducted by, they say, of course, they were abducted by aliens. But when you compare these alien abductions with demonic activities, and yeah, you can say demonic abductions, they are very, very similar. And so many Christians conclude, researchers that have done research in that area have concluded, and I believe one of them is Tom Horn, is definitely one that has that knowledge. And there's another one, what's his name? I cannot come up with his name right now, but maybe eventually I think about him. But if you check out Tom Horn, and who else is it? It doesn't come to me. But anyways, there's many that have done this research, many Christians. And so it is very obvious that these so-called aliens are either fallen angels, activities of fallen angels, or activities of demons, demon activities. Personally, I believe that these greens that people talk about, that I think they're called greens or grays, not greens, grays, and all these other ones that people are seeing are actually only avatars. Now, you know what an avatar is. An avatar is a body for another entity. We know in this movie Avatar, where human beings had this avatar they went into. So actually their spirit went into this machine, and that way they could actually communicate with this race of beings on this foreign planet. And that's the way it is with avatars that these fallen, well, actually I think it's the demons are using. Now, the fallen angels can take human form. Like, for instance, I think Satan can take human form. He can also take, like the angels. The angels can take human form. We know that for 100% in the Bible. Gabriel had human forms. All these angels appearing to different people in the Old and New Testament, they had human form. And so the fallen angels can do the same thing. They can take human form. They can also possess people. Satan can go into a human being and possess that human being. I don't know how they do it, but they can. So do demons. Demons can also possess, of course, people or animals. We know that as well. So the difference between the demons cannot appear as human beings because they are disembodied spirits. Their body was the giants before the flood, or even after the flood. But because they're mixtures of human and fallen angels, they cannot be saved. And so they are earthbound. So their spirit is bound here on earth, and they depend on human beings for a body or animals. So I believe these avatars, or these things they built, like the graves and the talls and whatever they're all called, they are avatars for these demons. That's personally what I believe. So, and I have no proof for it. Well, you know, I'm pulling things together, information together that I have been reading and researching for many years now. For many, many years, and research other people have done. And of course, it's not biblical. It can be biblical because it's something that's happening today. And we cannot just go and say, oh, where is it in the Bible? Because these things are not in the Bible. But you can find that the demons are disembodied, you know, Nephilims. That is in the Bible. Also, you can find that in the book of Enoch. Now, many people say, oh, that's not biblical. The book of Enoch was a valuable source during Jesus' time to read. And there was even a reference to Enoch in, I think, Jude, in the book of Jude. He was quoting Enoch or referring to Enoch. So because it was read very widely during Jesus' time, why did it not make it into the canon? The canon was put together by human beings, and I know our God oversaw the process, but there's also humanness that makes error in the Bible. There's errors in the Bible, okay? And God allows these errors for a purpose. I think for a purpose, he allows these errors to creep in. Why did he not allow Enoch to be part of the canon? Because maybe it wasn't important for salvation. And it's hard enough for people to accept the plan of salvation. And maybe Enoch was something also for the end times. And we're understanding that now, that it's important for the end times to understand, you know, what happened in the past, because it's happening today again. But going back to this, these aliens, and why am I talking to you about these aliens? Well, because they have a lot to do with covering up the rapture, okay? Because once the rapture happens, they have to make it look like it is something different than the rapture. The government will tell you, they will tell you, and make you believe that it's not the rapture. They will make you believe it has something to do with aliens. Why am I saying that? Because, and I have mentioned that in another video as well, so this is not the first time I'm saying this. There's this lady called Alice Bailey. She lived a long time ago, turn of the century, 19th century. And she was really one of the founders of the New Age movement. And she talked clearly about aliens coming, or actually she was in connection with aliens. So not aliens coming, but alien disclosure. And she was saying that long time ago, almost 200 years ago, or 100 years ago, she was saying that there is going to be an event that during which it looks like the aliens are taking the people away from this world that are standing in the way of progress. Now, what progress are they talking about? Well, the progress of totally establishing this new world order, this total world dominance. That's what she is talking about. People who are standing in the way of this total world dominance. Okay? Which is, of course, going to happen once the rapture happens. There is going to be still few people that will go against this establishment that is starting today. Now we can see today that most people are going along, especially in the United States, going along with this establishment. Okay? Even professionals, even doctors, scientists, we are having right now at least 85% of the people going along with this nonsense that we are being told today. They are falling for these lies. Nobody had to do any forcing. No force was so far necessary. Now, where I live in Colorado, we had this mask mandate. Before the mask mandate, we had about 85% of the people wearing masks. After this mandate, we have at least, I would think, 98%, and I'm seeing it overall. There's some, like in some cities, Colorado Springs, when I go in the store that I usually go in, there's at least 100% conformity with masks. And all because the governor is saying it, and there is this sign in front of the door, and people are doing it. It's how simple it is. It's all they had to do. No force. Nobody ever was probably forced by the police. No, they don't want confrontation with the law. So they are not doing it. Another little small town that I visit many times during the week, they have maybe, maybe 95% conformity. I don't believe they're all exemptions that are not wearing masks. So it's more a rural area, and I think there's more likely people are not conforming to it. But we have at least 98% in the whole state of conforming to this mandate. Now, I have noticed people are not being forced. Really, I mean, they're not calling the police. Walmart is not calling the police. Most of the stores are not calling the police. I've never been addressed, never. But, or somebody asked me once, and I said, well, I have an exemption, and that's all I had to say. But the conformity is overwhelming without any force. And that's exactly what has been prepared for a long time, for this new world order to be established, for this, and it is a world order because it's going on in other countries as well. Okay, so that is happening, people. These are the signs that I'm seeing that this total control is almost established. And Satan has to put that in place, or is going to put that in place to have total control. Absolute and total control. And that will happen before the wrath of God happens. And this rapture is happening because Satan has to cover up this rapture. He has to show people that this is not what these crazy Christians were saying. Okay, now I know not very many people will go on the rapture. I'll tell you that right now. Our churches, should I say our churches are going to be full? When I know right now the churches are not full. This is another thing that's been happening right now. How many people go to church even right now? There's many, states don't even have any more church services. They're already preparing many things, people, that this event will be able to cover. They will be able to cover this event up. Like school, they're not starting school here until October now. You know, the children will be at home. So if something happens, the rapture happens, these kids are gone, well, they can just say, oh, the coronavirus got them. Okay, it's very easy. They don't have to say, oh, these kids were snatched away. They were already gone. No, because they have them all on lockdown. So, but anyways, they're putting these many things in place right now to cover up this rapture when it happens. Well, in this, Alice Bailey just said that, oh, it's the aliens. The aliens will have snatched these people out because they're in the way of progress. Now, how many people do you think will believe that these people were in the way of progress? I'll tell you how many. 98% will say that. All the people that are wearing masks right now, they are conformers. They are conforming to the government, to the lies and the nonsense the government is dishing out. They are already brainwashed to follow the government. All over the world, I see the same thing in Europe. And the crazy people that are going to be snatched out, well, not all of the crazy people, right? I mean, let's say the Christians that will be snatched away or taken out, right? They are only going to be part, because there's also going to be a group of people that, of course, will be crazy, deemed crazy, and they will be left behind because they're not Christians. So you have a lot of people here, anti-vaxxers, that are the crazy people that will not be snatched out. But they will tell them, if you don't behave, you will be snatched out by the aliens just like the others. Okay? That is what they're going to do. And who knows, maybe they will even take these people, or many of these people, the same way at the same time, to make it look like this was not a rapture. So I want you to be aware of it. Of course, number one, what I want you to do is I want you to be ready for the rapture. I want you to be connected to Jesus, to follow Jesus, to have the Holy Spirit. So you are in the rapture. And then secondly, when you're left behind, people, when you see this video after the rapture, okay, when you're one of those people that think, well, that couldn't be, something is not right here, and you find this video, it'll probably be eliminated anyways. But if you find any across and you're left behind, okay, this is really what happened. These people, we went up into heaven. We went up into heaven. And of course, then there will be people here that still witness for Jesus. Okay? They still will be witnessing for Messiah. But the bride will be gone. You will not be bride. I have a lot of people, and I need to finish up. I have a lot of people that believe they are actually here during the wrath of God. They believe they're part of the two witnesses. And they believe they're going to be left behind. But then you will not be part of the bride. Okay? You will be here. You will get a human body, and you will be here on this earth. And so you need to remember that. But I want you to be ready, people. Be ready. Be ready for the bridegroom. And in my next video, I will talk about the Feast of Trumpets, this glorious day when Jesus will return. I will talk about a lot of things, a lot of idioms, what they call them, idioms, a lot of symbolism about this day of the Feast of Trumpets. And I have already starting to post things on my Facebook group, Great Deceptions of the End Times, because we're very close. We're very close. What's today? Today is the 11th. In almost a little over a month, okay, we could be raptured. In a little over a month. On the 18th, 19th, I would think it's the last trump. Okay, the last trump. There's 100 trumps on the Feast of Trumpets. And the last trump is the trump when the dead in Christ will rise. Okay, the dead in Christ will rise on the last trump, when the last trump is blown. And I will talk about that more in my next video. So that will be, the Feast of Trumpets will be a feast of 2 days. And the last trump, which is most likely at the end of the Feast of Trumpets, which could be on the 20th. Okay, I don't know. Don't tell me I'm giving you dates, because I'm not giving you dates. I'm just telling you it's going to be on the Feast of Trumpets, and we need to be prepared. That's all I'm telling you. So anyways, but I'm coming to an end. And always let the Holy Spirit guide you.